Alright, welcome back. So first of all, we just need to empty the van with all the stuff that we store in here. You can see that the floor's up at the moment. All the insulation there is old against the sides and the wood there is in a pile. And we're going to get all that permanently fixed down, and then once it is down, we're going to put the ply over the top so we've got a nice foundation for the floor. Alright, so we've just put the floor back in just to show you where we've got to. And I put my last video on Facebook just to get a bit of feedback in regards to the insulation in the floor and how we've done everything. And we had some comments talking about how we probably needed to put a couple more battens in to lay the plywood on top, because the Kingspan insulating board, if we were to walk on it without the battens being there, it might get slowly crushed over time and reduce the effectiveness of the insulation and probably just make it one big mess underneath. So what we're going to do now, we've got 2 of the 2.4 meter wooden battens, which are 25mm, and we're going to cut them and put them down the middle, basically. You'll see, we're going to cut it out, cut the insulation into shape, and just put a bit more structure in there.
So just going to put a few across here, and a few across there, another one down there, just to make it stronger. Okay, so we're going to put 2 more battens in going through this bit. So I'm just going to knock off the end 2 lots. So they're 38mm wide, so 76mm. I'm going to take off the end and then just split the rest into 3 equal sections.
Sounds good. Alright, so we chopped that a little bit off the end. Now we've measured up. Let's cut it into 3 and I'm going to quickly do that. What we didn't consider was whether or not the battens were going to be sit on any of the the raised metal on the floor. Luckily, it fits perfectly, but we were very lucky because yeah, we didn't consider that at all.
I'm just marking out roughly where I want to cut for the batten to sit, as I want it to be on top of these ridges. So it's like 25mm height, the same as the Kingspan.
So we made our mark where the battens are going to sit, and then we're just basically going to chuck the chunks out. So we've got these 3, they're cut, they're looking nice, and now we're just cutting the wood. And what is it, 32 inches exactly?
Yeah.
Is it gonna fit? Nah, it doesn't. Nah, not quite. Looks like maybe.
Just seam a little bit off.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Right. Now let's try. Cool. It took a couple of attempts just to trim it, but now I'm happy. All right, done and done. And now we're gonna put 1 through the middle. Alright, so we're just thinking about how we're going to do the floor, and we think we're going to use 1 ply sheet up to this bit of wood. That's going to come all the way up here, and then we're going to trim the top to fit the shape here. So we've kept this bit from what was originally in the van, so you can see we're going to use that as a bit of a template. So we're basically just going to cut around that. I've already tested it. It needs to be trimmed maybe by like 1 centimetre so it fits in a bit better. Because of the insulation being a bit higher than when this would have previously sat, and how the van sort of tapers in as it goes up, we just basically need to trim like 1 centimetre off the top so it's going to fit in a bit better.
So I just measured the ply that we're going to put over the top of everything. So it's 4 foot wide. So we're going to go from batten to batten. So that's like 4 foot there. We've got a little bit of that overlap, which is what we wanted. We'll do the top bit separate, and then we'll go from batten to batten. and do it in sections. So now that we've put this ply down, we're standing on top of it and we're noticing that this insulation is actually going to start to get crushed. So we think it's a good idea to add another piece of wood here for support. So what we're going to do is trim the insulation 38mm, the width of the wood, and the same up this end, trim the wood, trim the insulation, so we can sit this piece of wood along the bottom, just underneath the ply there for extra support.
So I've accidentally cut the wrong bit. So I cut along here, which is not what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to cut this way. So when this goes down, there's going to be a bit of a... It's no big deal, but it's not ideal. Right, cool. So we've got that bit of wood in, and then in there, an offcut sat perfectly.
So I think we should cut this bit first, just so we can like butt it all up against each other, working from this end to that end.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
So we've got a template for the edge of the flooring. So we're just gonna cut around this first, and then we're gonna do from here 25 centimeters, and we're gonna cut across there. That will be the front section of the van.
All right, let's see how it fits.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Alright, so this is the second panel. So it's a little bit too wide. So we've marked it out and we're just going to trim this little bit so it fits up to the second batten. Nice and snug. Boom. Happy days. So that's 2 down. And I know none of these battens are fixed into place yet, but once all the floor's cut, then we'll use that sticks like shit to glue everything down. What do you think about taking all of this up, laying it out on the floor, so we can use it as a template to cut around the wheel arches?
I think we should just make templates out of cardboard.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because it is absolutely not perfect, like the way we've cut these.
True.
So.
It's fine, mate, it's fine. Alright, templates, let's go.
This cardboard is way too thick and it's stressing me out. So I've gone back to the trusty Kellogg's.
I've got the coat on, it's getting a bit chilly. And we've marked out the templates for the wheel arches. So once we've cut those 2 lengths off, we can put the templates on, trace around. Hopefully it'll fit first time, but no doubt there'll be like a little bit of adjustment. Just trimmed off the thinnest bit to get that perfect, and now we just need to double check that the templates are fine, get the exact measurements so we can lift the templates. Oh, bit windy. Lift the templates and then put it onto here and just make sure everything is 100% before we actually cut. We're trying to get as much done as possible tonight. Tash is off and there's a storm tomorrow, so we're going to have no chance to work on the van tomorrow, so get as much done as possible right now.
So to cut the piece of ply around the wheel arches, I thought I'd just be able to measure up and then do both sides symmetrical, like to cut the wood out, but it seems when I measure they are actually both different lengths. So like from here to here, and then the other side from here to here are different lengths. So I just have to do them individually.
Alright, so it's all measured up. You can see we've got a line along there, so that's like the width of the wheel arch, and you can see it cuts in there, similar to there, and then that corner and that corner. And now I'm going to cut it, and if it's perfect first time, I'm having a beer tonight. Alright, so we've just cut that side, and we just measured again inside, and what was it?
21. So that's 24 from there to there, so we need to cut 3 centimetres off.
Yeah. And is it the same for this side?
I don't know.
Okay, so we'll measure that. Right, so now, all things being good, we should just be able to go plop like a jigsaw puzzle. Yes!
Oh, it's perfect.
Happy days.
Yay!
High five.
Sleep there. You can sleep down there. Move your head out the door.
I'm chuffed.
That way, lie that way. I want to see how long you are. God, you're so bloody long, honey. You're literally up to the second board. You're too long!
That's now. Alright, that's it, that's the floor. So, as I said before, like the battens underneath, we need to glue down. I think we're also going to put some of this, the reflective foil that also acts as a vapor barrier, or if we don't put that down we might get maybe just a plastic sheet to act as a vapor barrier because there's less thickness to it.
Yeah.
But that's the floor. I'm really happy.
Yeah, it's looking good.
So the templates worked really well. So we obviously had the templates of the wheel arches, we had the templates around the front bit from the bit of wood that we had before, and we just used that and that worked absolutely fine. We just had to trim it a little bit to get it to fit perfectly, but it was fine. So I think on the next one, we're gonna finish off some of the reflectix foil around the window and up on the roof here. There's a batten that I noticed that needs to be glued on up there, just for the cladding to go onto. And then on the back of the door, we're going to put some insulation in each of those panels. Before then, again, we put the foil over the top and clad that up. Alright, cool. I hope you like this one. Feel free to like the video and subscribe if you want to follow along with our progress, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.